Did the Cowboys just narrow their defensive coordinator search to 4 surprising finalists, and is Sean McDermott actually in the mix? Fans expected familiar names, but this latest report is raising eyebrows across the league. Some believe Dallas is finally thinking outside the box with a bold, forward-thinking approach, while others warn this could be another confusing power move by the front office. Why are these names surfacing now, and what does it reveal about Jerry Jones' real plan? One finalist stands out for a reason, and it could completely change the Cowboys' defensive identity. Alright, imagine waking up and realizing the Dallas Cowboys are standing at a crossroads that could completely redefine their defense for years to come. That's exactly where we are right now, because major Cowboys news is heating up, and the buzz around the next defensive coordinator is getting louder by the hour. Multiple league insiders are now pointing to 4 serious finalists emerging in the Cowboys' defensive coordinator search, and on top of that, a shocking question is being whispered behind the scenes. Could Dallas actually make a move for a big-name head coach like Sean McDermott if things line up the right way? This isn't just another off-season rumor cycle. This is one of those moments that could shift the identity of the entire team. Let's start with the defensive coordinator situation, because this is the heartbeat of the Cowboys' offseason. Dallas knows one thing for sure: talent is not the issue. When you look at this roster, from Micah Parsons to Trayvon Diggs, Darren Bland, DeMarcus Lawrence, and the young depth across the defensive line, the Cowboys have the pieces to be a top-tier defense every single year. The frustration has been consistency, situational execution, and post-season performance. That's why this hire matters so much. This is not about finding a caretaker. This is about finding a leader who can unlock this group at the highest level. According to growing league chatter, 4 names are standing out as real finalists in the Cowboys' search. The first type of candidate Dallas is seriously considering is the proven NFL defensive mind, someone who has already coordinated a top defense and understands how to game plan week to week against elite quarterbacks. This kind of candidate brings credibility into the locker room instantly. Veterans respect them, younger players learn faster, and there's less of an adjustment period. The Cowboys have been burned before by gambling too much on potential, so this time, experience is clearly being valued. Another finalist profile that keeps coming up is the aggressive, modern defensive schemer. This is the coach who thrives on pressure packages, disguised coverages, and flexibility. Someone who understands that today's NFL is all about creating confusion pre-snap and chaos post-snap. The Cowboys' defense has thrived when it's been attacking rather than reacting, and there's a strong belief inside the organization that the next coordinator must lean into that identity. Micah Parsons is at his best when he's being unleashed, not boxed into predictable roles, and this candidate profile fits that vision perfectly. The third finalist type is particularly interesting because it represents a philosophical shift. This is the disciplinarian, detail-obsessed defensive coach. The kind of coach who lives for third down stops, red zone efficiency, and situational football. Dallas has dominated opponents in stretches, but fans know the pain of watching breakdowns at the worst possible moments. This finalist is being viewed as someone who can clean up the small mistakes that turn playoff games into heartbreaks. It's not flashy, but it wins in January. Then there's the fourth finalist, and this is where things get really intriguing. This candidate is someone with head coaching experience, or strong head coaching potential. Dallas is clearly thinking big picture here. They want someone who can coordinate the defense now, but also be a strong leader of men, someone who commands the entire room. This is where the Sean McDermott conversation starts creeping in, and even if it sounds wild at first, it's worth discussing why this idea won't go away. Sean McDermott is a name that commands respect across the NFL. He's built top defenses, developed elite players, and created a culture of accountability wherever he's gone. The idea of McDermott in Dallas immediately sparks debate, because on the surface, it feels unlikely. He's a head coach. Why would he take a defensive coordinator role? But here's where the Cowboys' situation becomes fascinating. If there's any franchise that can offer a platform, pressure, and opportunity to reshape a legacy, it's Dallas. Think about what McDermott represents. He's known for discipline, structure, and mental toughness. These are areas where critics argue the Cowboys have fallen short in big moments. Bringing in someone with that mindset could instantly change the tone of the defense, and honestly, the entire team. Even the idea of him being in the building sends a message. Dallas is serious about winning now, not just looking good on paper. Now, to be clear, no one is saying a McDermott hire is guaranteed or even likely at this moment. But the fact that his name is being connected at all tells you how aggressive Dallas might be willing to get. This front office understands the window they're in. Dak Prescott is in his prime years. Micah Parsons is a generational defender. CeeDee Lamb is one of the best receivers in football. The clock is ticking, and conservative moves aren't going to cut it anymore. What makes this defensive coordinator search even more intense is how it ties directly into Micah Parsons' future. Every great defensive player reaches a point where scheme and coaching either elevate them or limit them. The Cowboys know they cannot afford to waste Micah's prime. Whoever takes over this defense must build around him, not just plug him into a system. That's why flexibility, creativity, and trust are such big factors in this decision. Another layer to this story is how the locker room will respond. Dallas has strong veteran leadership, but they've also experienced coaching turnover and mixed messaging in the past. The next defensive coordinator has to walk in with authority, clarity, and a plan. Players want to know exactly what's expected of them and how they can succeed. The wrong hire could lead to frustration. The right hire could turn this defense into a nightmare matchup every single week. Let's also talk about the NFC landscape, because this matters. The Cowboys aren't building in a vacuum. They're looking at teams like the 49ers, Eagles, Lions, and Packers. These are physical, well-coached teams that thrive in the trenches and execute under pressure. Dallas has the talent to match them, but talent alone doesn't win championships. Coaching edges matter more in the playoffs than almost anything else. That's why this hire feels bigger than just a coordinator role. The Sean McDermott angle also opens up a larger conversation about accountability. One of the biggest criticisms of the Cowboys over the years has been a lack of edge, a lack of killer instinct when games tighten up. McDermott's teams, regardless of their flaws, are rarely undisciplined or unprepared. If Dallas wants to change its narrative, bringing in voices like that could be a major step in the right direction. Of course, there are risks. A high-profile defensive mind comes with expectations, media scrutiny, and potential clashes in philosophy. Dallas is already the most covered team in the league. Adding another big personality could amplify everything, good and bad. But maybe that's exactly what this franchise needs. Playing it safe hasn't brought a Super Bowl back to Dallas. Bold moves might. As this process continues, fans should be paying close attention not just to the names, but to the language coming out of the organization. Are they emphasizing aggression? Discipline? Flexibility? Player development? Those clues will tell us which finalist is truly leading the race. One thing is clear, the Cowboys are not treating this like a routine hire. They understand the stakes. This decision will shape how offenses prepare for Dallas every week. It will influence how Micah Parsons is used, how the secondary communicates, and how the defense responds when adversity hits. And if the Cowboys actually manage to land someone with the presence and pedigree of a Sean McDermott, it could send shockwaves across the entire NFL. So as the rumors swirl and the finalist list tightens, one question hangs over everything. Are the Cowboys ready to finally match their talent with the right leadership? Because if they get this hire right, we might be looking at the most dangerous Dallas defense we've seen in years. And if they get it wrong, the window doesn't stay open forever. If you're a Cowboys fan, this is the moment to pay attention. This is the kind of off-season move that doesn't just win headlines, it wins games. Make sure you're locked in, because the next few weeks could redefine the future of this franchise. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want the latest Cowboys news, rumors, and deep analysis, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. The Cowboys' next chapter is being written right now, and it's about to get very interesting.